So we'll get started in an easy seat. We're going to begin, bring hands together, taking a couple of deep breaths. So we'll inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. And then going into our Nadi Shodhana breathing technique. So using the middle finger and the forefinger pressed between the eyebrows. We're going to inhale through the left nostril, closing off the right with the thumb. And then bringing that exhale out through the right side, closing off the left nostril, inhaling in through the right, out through the left, in through the left, and out through the right. So let's do a couple rounds of these. You can use your own breath to pace yourself. And maybe take one more round on your own. And as you come to complete that breath, we'll begin breathing and by inhaling and exhaling just through the nose with a slight constriction in the back of the throat. When you're ready, we'll reach our arms up with an inhale. Clasping the fingers together, palms reach up to the ceiling. And on the next exhale, releasing the right arm down, bringing the elbow to the ground if possible. Left arm reaches overhead, chest up towards the ceiling. And inhale, coming all the way over onto the left side. Left elbow comes down to the ground. Right arm reaches over, chest lifts up. And on your next inhale, rising back up. Fingers clasped, palms reach up again. And as you exhale, bring the hands forward in front of you, pressing away from the torso, pulling the belly in towards the spine. Releasing the arms behind you, clasp the fingers behind your back, pulling down into the ground. Releasing the hands in front of you. Right arm will reach up high, twisting back, planting behind you. Left hand to the right knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist over the right shoulder. Back to center. Left arm reaches up high, swinging behind a plant behind you. Right hand to the left knee and inhale, lift. Exhale, twisting over the left shoulder. And back to center. Hands can rest right here on the knees. So we roll the torso, nice big circle. Last one on this side. Back up to center and other direction. Two more here. Last one. Back up to center, continuing to wake up the spine. We'll extend the arms so that the hands are going past the knees. The elbows are locked straight for sitting cat-cows. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze up. Exhale, curling under. And inhale, lift up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale, curling under. Do 2 more rounds of these on your own. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then we'll meet back in a neutral spine. If you have your legs crossed and they're on top of each other, make sure you bring them both down to the floor. Okay, so one should be right in front of the other. And we're gonna inhale, reaching up high. Exhale, folding forward over crossed legs. Hands land on the floor, walking your hands, another handprint forward. Maybe another one, or maybe just a fingertip forward. And when you're reaching your point that you can't go any further, go ahead and release the head down. And inhale, sliding back up. And then go ahead and bring your other foot to come in front. So both feet are on the ground, and we'll do that one more time. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding over, bent knees. Walking your hands out, another handprint. Fingertip further, coming to your deepest point, and release the head down. Your next inhale, coming back up. We're going to come forward into a high plank. Holding here, nice and strong. Bringing all of our weight into the left hand. Coming on to the left foot, you can stack the right on top, reaching the right arm up high. If you need to drop the left knee, go ahead, that's okay. I'm gonna stay here for 3 more breaths. And 3, with control, bringing the right hand back down, coming back into your high plank. And then bring your weight into the right hand, onto the right foot. Left foot stacks on top, left arm reaches high. Dropping the right knee if you have to. 3 breaths here. And then with the control, bringing that left arm back down to the floor when you're ready. We're going to come down onto the forearms here, a forearm plank. With control, inhale, we're going to roll forward on the toes. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Forward. Back. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, back. Last one. And drop the belly to the floor. Sitting up high in a Sphinx pose, elbows right below the shoulders. And then pressing the hands into the floor beneath the shoulders, pushing up into a baby cobra. And then to a high, maybe into an upward facing dog. And then rolling back into a child's pose. On your next inhale, start to sit up. And we'll come to rest on our knees here. Moving into a couple of low lunges. So let's start bringing the right foot forward. Shifting that weight forward, nice bend in the knee. Resting the hands first on the leg. Nice stretch in the front of the left leg. Arms reach up high. And then bringing the hands down to either side of the leg. We're going to shift the hips back, straightening through the right leg. Toes point up to the ceiling. Half split. And then shifting back into that low lunge. Resting the hands on the legs here for just a breath. And then go ahead and bring that right leg back to meet the left. Do that on the other side. Left leg comes forward, bending through the knee. Stretching through the front of the right leg. Hands rest here on the left. And inhale, arms reach up high. And then bringing the hands to rest on either side of that left leg. We'll push the hips back, straightening through the left side, toes pointing up for another half split. And then bringing the weight back into that left foot, coming back into the low lunge, hands rest here for just a second. And then bringing that foot back to meet the right. Okay, I'm gonna lay on our backs. All right, and we'll start off by lifting that right leg up high. Grabbing hold of the leg behind the thigh. Just holding here, bringing the leg to the chest. Not going any past a place of pain, just a stretch. And lifting the head up. We're going to start to crawl the hand up the length of the leg. You might come here to the calf or the ankle. Maybe you can reach the foot. Maybe grabbing hold of the big toes. Breathe here. And releasing the head down to the floor. Releasing the toes if you have them, walking that hand back down the leg and letting the right leg come down to the floor. Okay, we'll lift the left leg up high. Grabbing hold of the back of the thigh, keeping the head resting. Pulling that leg in towards the chest, just enough so that you feel that stretch. And lifting the head up. Start to walk the hands up higher, trying to go to the same place you did on the right. Maybe going and grabbing hold of the big toes there. And releasing the head back down. Letting go of the toes or whatever your highest place is. Starting to walk the hands back down. And releasing the left foot back to the floor. Okay, we'll come up to a seat. Into a tabletop position for some more traditional cat-cows. Dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. Inhale. Exhale, curling under. And inhale, cow. Exhale for cat. One more round of these. And coming back to a neutral spine. We're going to extend the left leg out behind you, foot flat as if you're about to touch the wall. Right arm extends out in front like you're going to shake someone's hand. And we're going to bend the knee and elbow to meet under the belly and extend out long and bending in. Inhale, reach out. One last time, elbow to knee and lengthen. Bring the right hand down and the left leg. This time the right foot is going to come out, extending the right leg. Left arm reaches forward, lengthen here, and then bending elbow to knee and reaching out, elbow to knee. And last time. And lengthen here. Left hand comes down, followed by the right. Okay, we're gonna step the left foot and the right foot back, coming back into our high plank, and then hips up into our first downward dog. You wanna spread the fingertips here, pressing down into the pads of them, weight towards the thumb, letting your heels melt down. Maybe rocking the feet a little bit. Or any other movements that'll help you feel the stretch here. And then gazing towards the hands, we're going to take little baby steps forward. Coming into a forward fold. Then coming to a flat back, halfway lift. Folding down. And inhale, rising up. Arms up overhead, hands to heart center, and hands by your waist. All right, so we're gonna move into 3 rounds of sun A's. See if I can stay in the camera here. Okay, come back here. All right, so inhale, arms reach up high. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. And inhale, look to the hands, step the left foot forward, followed by the right. Coming into a halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Arms reach up high. Exhale, hands by your side. Do it again. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, chaturanga. And upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale, look to the hands, step the right foot forward, followed by the left. Halfway lift, maybe the hands just come down to the shins or the fingertips to the floor. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands at your side. Okay, do 1 more round of that. Inhale, arms reach up high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna hold here for 5 breaths. And then on your inhale, you can walk, step, or jump. Meet the hands. And coming into a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands at the side. Okay, so we're gonna move through a series of asanas here. So we'll start with the feet hip distance apart, space of 2 fists together. And exhaling, coming down, we're going to grab hold of the big toes again with the forefinger, middle finger, and thumb. We'll start off here, coming to a flat back, lengthen, and exhale, fold. If your knees are bent, that's okay. If they're straight, you might want to bend the elbows out to the sides a little bit, pulling the belly in so it can meet the legs. And keep a holding of those toes. We're going to inhale, lengthen, and release the hands. Moving into gorilla pose. So we're going to be stepping onto the palms here, toes to the wrist. If this doesn't feel good, go right back to holding on to the big toes. Knees might be softer here. This is a deeper stretch. If your legs are straight, you might want to start to bend them out to the sides. If they're bent, that's okay. Bring weight into the toes. Your next inhale, lengthen and release. And inhale, rise up tall. We're going to step the feet to the edges of your mat. And bringing the hands together, nice and slow, we'll sink down into Malasana Yogi Squat. Bending in the knees, coming down. Just hanging out here for a couple of breaths. If this doesn't feel good, you might put a block or a pillow or blankets underneath of you. Or if you want to, you can simply just sit down. I could hang out in this pose all day. But on our next inhale, we will rise up nice and slow and controlled, releasing the hands down. And you're gonna come to the top of your yoga mat. And we'll start by stepping the left foot back behind us. We're gonna come into a warrior one. So nice deep bend in the right leg here. Both feet are flat. Left foot is pointed towards the top left corner of your mat, squaring the hips forward, arms reach up high. And we're moving into humble warrior. So bringing the hands back behind you, clasping the fingers. You might walk that right foot out an inch or so. As we exhale, coming down, bowing forward, trying to bring that right shoulder inside the right leg, keeping the hips square. One more breath here. And then rising up over straight legs. I'm going to square that back foot with the back of the mat. We're moving into triangle pose. Arms will reach out to either side. And then pushing the left hips back, reaching that right arm forward. Right arm then goes down, hand resting against the leg. Maybe reaching for the foot or toes. Left arm reaches high. Slight twist in the upper torso so that the chest lifts to the ceiling. You can stay here or bring that left arm behind you, reaching for that right thigh, coming into a half bind, gazing up. Be here for 2 more breaths. And releasing that left arm up if you took the bind. And everybody will rise up, bringing that right arm up behind. We're going to sink into a warrior 2. So nice bend in that right leg here. Radiant warrior, and then extending the arms out to either side, gazes over the right fingers. Then bending the right elbow, we're going to come into side angle. Elbow rests against the leg. Left arm reaches up high. You might bend into that right knee a little bit more. You want to try to keep yourself from collapsing your weight into that right leg. Really using your core to hold yourself up. One more full breath here. And then you can straighten through that leg, turning the torso over the right foot. Hands come down on either side, a variation of pyramid pose here. Then walking the hands forward, weight into the right foot. We're going to lift that left leg up high, coming into standing split. This might be a really good place for blocks under the hands. And then you can stay here, or we're going to be moving into half moon. Can't tell if I'm actually in the camera or not. And so we're going to be opening the hips. The left hip stacks on top of the right. Right hand remains on the ground. A couple hand prints in front of the right foot. You bring that left hand up to the left hip. When you're ready, reaching that left arm up high. If you're feeling very balanced here, you might turn your gaze up towards that left hand. And then be here for 2 more breaths. And then with control, stepping that left foot back behind you, coming into a wide-legged stance. Turning the toes in towards each other. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Hands resting on the hips and hinging at the waist, coming forward. You can leave your hands there or maybe plant them on the floor in front of you. They might go for the toes. And walking the hands out in front of you so you can come to a flat back. Bring the hands back to the hips if they aren't there already. And inhale, rising up. You're going to turn the toes out away from us. Bending the knees, sinking down into a goddess pose, arms out to the side, bending at the elbows, goalpost arms, and just little pulses here. And rising up, bring those feet back together. Inhale, arms reach up high. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're gonna go through a chaturanga. And upward facing dog. Rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. Gazing towards the hands, walk, jump, however you want to get there. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up high. Exhale, hands at your side. We'll do all of that on the left side. So we'll begin by bringing the right foot back. We're going to come into a nice deep bend here in the left knee. Both feet are flat. Right foot is pointed towards the top right corner of your mat. Hips are squared forward. Arms reach up high for warrior one. Stay here for about 3 breaths. And releasing the hands behind the back, clasping the fingers together, maybe walking that left foot out a few inches to the outside of the mat. Getting ready for humble warrior as we bow forward. Try to bring that left shoulder inside the left leg. Bring the right hips forward. One more breath. And starting to rise up. You can straighten that left leg out. Back foot is parallel to the back of the mat as we're coming into triangle pose. Arms are reach out to the side. We'll push those right hips back this time. Left arm reaching forward as the left hand goes down to rest against the leg. Foot, toes. Right arm reaches high. Slight twist in the upper torso to lift the chest to the ceiling. And if you did so on the first side, maybe you'll bring that right arm behind you, seeking out the left leg, coming into a half bind, keeping that chest lifted. Gaze up. One more full breath here. Releasing that right arm up high, rising up. We'll reach that left arm behind us, coming into a radiant triangle, radiant warrior two by bending through that left leg. Arms come out to either side. Gaze is over the left fingertips. And then coming into our side angle, we're going to bend that left elbow to meet the left knee. Maybe bending a little deeper. Right arm reaches up high. Again, use your core to hold yourself up, not collapsing into the leg. You can straighten through that leg there, bringing the hands to either side, coming into a variation of pyramid pose. And give me 1 second. It's around the side.
It's around the side?
Yeah, that's past the driveway.
Oh.
Our neighbors' food delivery always comes to our door. Okay, so we're in pyramid pose. We're going to bring our weight into the left foot. Hands come forward, rising up into standing split. And then you can stay here, or we're going to move into that half moon again. So we're going to start to stack the right hips on top of the left. Left hand's going to come forward before the left foot. You feel stable. Bring that right hand to the right hip. Reaching that arm up high. And if you have your balance here, feel free to turn that gaze up. Then with control, bringing that right foot back down, wide-legged stance. We'll come into our second wide-legged forward fold. Toes are pointing out away from each other. This time, we'll bring the hands behind the back, clasping the fingers together. And folding forward. Oh, sorry, and the toes should be pointing in towards each other. And let's bring that arm overhead. One more breath here. Release the hands to the floor, walking them under the shoulders so you can come to a flat back. Bring your hands up to the hips and rise up. And this time we'll turn the toes away from each other. Sinking back down into that goddess pose. Arms out to the side, bending at the elbows. We're going to come up onto the ball of the right foot. Just hold. And bring that heel down, coming up onto the ball of the left foot. Bringing that heel down, rising up tall, walking the feet back under the hips. And we'll take one more vinyasa. Inhale, arms reach up high. Exhale, fold. Now halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. We're just heading to down dog. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. We're going to lift the right leg up high, coming into pigeon pose. You might want to bend the knee here, opening up the hip a little bit more. And then straightening through that leg, bending the knee in towards the chest. Right knee comes to the outside of the right mat. Left foot to the left side. Now sink that leg down, extending the left leg behind you. If your right hip is up high, you might want to put a pillow there. When you're ready, you can stay here or come down onto the forearms. Maybe coming all the way onto the floor. I'm going to stay here for about 6 breaths. So find your most comfortable place. And starting to rise back up, coming out of the pose. If you're all the way down, maybe coming just to the forearms. And coming on to your hands. And then we'll tuck the left toes under, coming back up into a three-legged dog. Releasing that hip however you want. I just like to straighten it out on the floor. And then we'll do the left side, left hip, left foot up, bending at the knee, opening the hips. Then straightening through that left leg, bending the knee in towards the nose. Left knee to the left side of the mat, foot to the right. Stretching that right leg behind you. Again, if you need to, add a pillow or a blanket to the left hips. When you feel ready, coming down onto the forearms. Maybe all the way down to the floor. Go to wherever you feel comfortable. Starting to come out of the pose the same way you came in. Maybe coming back just onto the forearms. Up onto the hands. Coming up nice and tall. Tucking that right foot under so that you can lift up into your three-legged dog. And coming out and stretching out however you need to. When you're ready, we'll meet taking a seat. Bringing the feet out in front of us, we're coming to a seated forward fold. Sitting up nice and straight here. Arms reach up. And exhale, folding over the legs. When you're ready, sitting back up, we'll bring that right foot in for Janu Shirshasana, turning the torso over the left foot. And go ahead and reach for the foot or the shin, wherever you can. Maybe if you have a hold of the foot, bring the forehead down to the knee. Inhale, rising up, planting that right hand behind you, lifting the hips up high, left foot flat. Left arm reaches up, chest to the ceiling. Gate pose. And coming back down. Okay, let's bring the left foot in. Right leg is out straight. Turning the torso over the right foot, arms reach up. Exhale, grabbing hold of your shin, your ankle, your foot, wherever you are. Maybe that forehead goes to the knee. And inhale, sitting up tall. Left arm's going to plant behind you, lifting those hips up. Right arm reaches overhead, chest up to the ceiling. And coming back down to a seat. We'll bring both feet in together, Baddha Konasana. Hold on to the toes here, maybe just the shins, lifting the chest, coming to a flat back. See if you can stretch, bending just a little bit forward at the hips, stopping when you start to feel a curve in the spine. And sitting back up. We're gonna lay on our side, coming into our supermodel pose. Head is resting in the right hand. Lifting that left leg up high. You might just grab hold of the leg or reaching for that big toe there. Be here for 2 more breaths. And release the leg down. You can just turn over onto the other side. I'm going to flip around. Head is resting in the left hand here. Feet are stacked. And lifting that right leg up. You might just grab a hold of the leg at any place or grabbing hold of that big toe again. Three more breaths here. And then releasing that leg down. I'm going to roll onto the back. Do a quick series of back bends. Okay, bridge pose. So the knees are bent, the feet are flat on the floor. Feet are about hips distance apart. And we'll start by pressing into the feet, lifting the bottom up. Lower back, upper back. You can stay here or roll the shoulders under the back, maybe clasping the hands together. The chest is lifting towards the chin, the pelvis is tilted up. And release the hands if you've gotten hold of them, rolling shoulders out. Upper back comes down, lower back, and hips. Okay. We're gonna go up 2 more times. If you feel like you want a more restorative bridge pose, you might put the block or books or your pillows underneath your hips, and feel free to just stay up there for the next 2 sets. Again, pressing into the feet, lifting up the hips, lower back, upper back, rolling onto the shoulders, hands clasped together, pelvic bone reaching up high, chest comes to meet the chin. Hold here for 5 breaths. If you're doing this restoratively, stay where you are. Otherwise, release the hands, the shoulders, upper back, lower back, and hips. Going into 1 more round. And pressing the feet into the floor, hips lift up. The lower back comes up, upper back, onto the shoulders, hands clasped together, press through the feet, lifting the pelvic up. Releasing the hands, the shoulders, rolling all the way back down. If you're resting on anything, you can remove that from under the hips here. And then we're going to take one more restorative pose, feet up against the wall. So if you have a wall available to you, you can go for that right now. I just want to scoot up to the wall. And we're just going to be lifting the legs up high, resting them against the wall. If you don't have a wall available, you could put a cushion or a block under the hips. Then start to bring the feet back down onto the ground. Coming up away from the wall if you're there. Then pulling the knees in towards the chest. We're going to bring the head up, curling up into like a little ball. Then releasing the head back down, keeping the knees lifted. We're going to let them fall over to the left side. Coming into a twist. The left hand can rest on top of the knees. The right arm's going to extend, gaze over the right shoulder. If you want to bring the left arm out to the side as well, that's fine. And bringing those knees back up to center, rolling them over to the right side for another twist. The right hand might rest on top of the legs. The left arm is going to extend out to the left, gaze over the left shoulder. Feel free to leave the right hand on the legs or extend the right arm out to the side. Then bringing the knees back up to center one last time. Grabbing hold, giving yourself a hug, curling into a little ball. And then when you're ready, you can release into your Shavasana. The legs rest out, feet can splay, arms out by the side, close your eyes. Don't have to do anything here. I'll pull you out in 2 minutes before the class is over. Start to bring movement back into the body, wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Maybe nodding your head side to side. And drawing the knees back up. When you're ready, you can roll over onto your favorite side. Resting your head against your arms, coming into a fetal position. Stay here for a few breaths. And then nice and easy, pushing yourself up into a seat. Crossing the legs in front of you. Bringing your hands to heart center. Taking a deep breath. One more, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And thank you so much for sharing your yoga with me today. I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you. This has been great.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you, Frankie.
You're welcome.
That was awesome. Just what I needed today.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. That's like what feels the best to me. So I always do it.
It's like perfect midday flow. Thank
Good. I'm so glad.
you so much, Frankie.
You're welcome.